All right, I think we're ready to start. So welcome to this online session where we present the new features in Aligned 2.6 Service Pack 1. This is a recorded session, so it will be placed on our YouTube channels and on our website for later references. Today we're going to go over the new features and some of the fixes that we have made into this recent service pack that was released about 2 weeks ago in the beginning of April. And I'm going to start out here, and later Anders Emmerich is going to join me with some additional features at the end. Well, the most important things that actually drove this service pack was a couple of important fixes that we decided to implement, having to do with primarily low performance when loading file objects. So for those of you who have used Aligned Elements 2.6, you might have noticed that loading file objects takes longer than normal. That is something that we have fixed in this version. The previous version also had some problems with displaying aligned elements in different tabs with different projects, and that is also something that we have addressed in this service pack. There was also problems reported when syncing Word documents containing complex aggregation of content, and we're very thankful for all of you reporting these kind of things so we can fix them in these kind of service packs. Going into the new features. So starting out, we have implemented last projects, meaning recently used projects that you as a user have used in Aligned Elements will appear at the top of the project selection. This has been available in the Windows client for a long time, and upon popular request, we have now also added it in the web client. Number 2, search in the web client Word add-in. It is now possible to search for words in titles and also, of course, object IDs in the Word add-in. The search works in such a way that you need to expand the section that you want to search in and then type to search. And this is a search as you type feature. So as you continue to type, then the matches will then automatically be displayed and filtered out in the Word add-in. Number 3, also a feature that has been available in the Windows client for some time, but is now new to the web client, that you can actually have more control when you import objects in Aligned Elements. So you can now select to import objects in a particular chapter. This is, of course, only for objects of the type that matches the chapter in which you want to import. But that's also then available now upon popular request. Shout out to Tom from Envision for requesting this feature, the possibility to import a large number of files in a single action. So this is applicable, for example, for file objects or for attachment objects where you want to import a large number of files and not having to add them one by one. And the way that this works is that you zip a number of files, including the folder structure on your computer, and you upload that zip using the import files menu action. And this will then rebuild the folder structure in chapters in Aligned Elements and automatically add those imported files, primarily documents, then in the file attributes of the objects in the file object or in the attribute objects, and automatically set the title to the name of the file. A very smart feature. I'm happy for this request, and I'm glad that we could implement it in this service pack. A long outstanding issue that we now have fixed is the possibility to customize the risk threshold names. You all know that this middle name here tends to change with time. So it has been called ALARP, ALAP, and the most recent one is now AFAP as far as possible from the MDR. With this service pack, it is now possible to configure the names of all these 3 thresholds in the RVT files. If you need help with this, just reach out to us and we show you how you can do this. In the web client, we have also included some enhancement when it comes to generate Excel reports. From now on, you have much more control over the content in the Excel reports that you generate from Aligned Elements. So you can include not only the attributes, the project name, the type name, but also information about the last person, date, and comment for the last change. In subsequent dialogues, you also have the possibility to export older revisions as part of the export. And also, if you want to put a comment into this Excel report, that's also possible. So some more Excel report enhancements there has long been available in the Windows clients, but is now also available in the web client. And on request from many of you who uses the test run, we have made some important fixes here as well. New possibilities now to generate word reports from the test run itself. So you can select which type, if it's tests or test results that you want to include in the word report. We have also done a number of usability features here that, for example, in the filters are now persistent. There was some refresh problems that also have been fixed. And we are very glad that we can add this. And we encourage you guys to come with more suggestions on how we can make this more usable for you. An advanced feature when it comes to signatures, and this is a flavor of electronic signatures that is called enforced sign order, which is a setting in Aligned Elements that then requires that the signees sign off in a particular order. Default setting is that that anyone in the assigned users can sign off in any order, but if you use the enforced sign order setting, the users in the assigned users need to actually sign off in the particular order as stated in this table. And the new feature here is that as soon as one person has signed off, an email will automatically sent out to the next person in the list, which then get notified that now it's that person's time to sign off. And this greatly enhances the usability of using this kind of enforced sign order. So shout out to Fetter for requesting this feature. Now, Anders, over to you.
Hi, everyone. This is about the management of web users in the web application. The first time you open this view manage users, now only list the users without any relation to their assigned projects. This makes it a lot faster. There's also a little list of currently active users in the whole web platform listed in the middle on top. If you then click on the button Show Projects, you will see each user's assignment to the project. And if you click once more, then you will see all the project information in regards to user management, assignment to user groups and things like that. Another improvement has been that when you enable or disable a user from this view, it will also propagate that change to all the assigned projects. So the user will be disabled, for example, in all the assigned projects, or enabled again in all the assigned projects without you having to go in and do those modifications in the local projects. It mainly has an effect on users being notified if they're enabled in the project but disabled from the platform, and we want to kind of avoid that. And this is a simple click of a button to get them disabled in all projects in one go. Sometimes when there's a lot of updates going on in the background, for example, propagating to multiple projects, it can take a bit of time to get that going, and it would also put a lot of load on the project if you have like hundreds of projects assigned to each users. So these kind of performance intense activities, they will run in the background, and the user will be notified per mail when the action has completed for all the projects. So if I go in and, for example, disable a user and that user has been assigned 200 projects, it will take a bit of time to do that, and the application also automatically throttles the performance to not have a negative impact on other activities on the server. On the next slide, we have similar things going on for managed projects. When you're updating a lot of projects, doing forced temporary reload or upgrading project version, it's also a possibility to control that activity will be throttled by the application and just slowly but surely be completed in the background, and the user will be notified per mail with the result after the action. Then we have something a bit new for those of you trying to integrate with Aligned Elements, for example, in your build system or something like that. We have this Elements automation tool that has been available for a number of years as a Windows application, both with the proper UI and with the command line tool. We now also offer that one as a Linux distribution, so it's possible to run these kind of integrations from a Linux build server, for example, or something like that. And that's also possible now to run within your environment if you want to do that. Last but not least, we have a highly experimental feature. It's going a bit under the radar. You're being the first one knowing of it. We have small but efficient integration with OpenAI. And the whole point of this, there's a little button in your edit screen, the one highlighted with the red circle in the slide. And if you click on that button, we will collect all the text from that particular design item and try to generate a summarized title. So if you have a lot of information that you may have imported from legacy data and you have not set any titles for those, then this is an easy way of doing that. Note that it's very experimental, so it's on your responsibility. Of course, you will need an own OpenAI account for your company to have this running. There is a couple of settings in the web config to help you control also how the summary is being created. It's basically parameters being exposed that OpenAI is providing, and you can try these out in OpenAI Playground, for example, to determine the best settings to your needs. Kind of depends on how you describe your requirements and things like that, what actually comes out of it. Bit of a magic box, but could be very efficient and helpful for those of you needing it.
Thank you very much. And of course, an integration with OpenAI means that your data will be sent to OpenAI, given that you have this token. And we do, of course, not take any responsibility with what OpenAI does with that content that's described in their own SLAs. But this is our first step in leveraging ChatGPT functionality in Aligned Elements. We are very curious to hear about your own thoughts about this. If you think it would be possible to allow an integration with OpenAI in your organization, and also, of course, what kind of use cases in Aligned Elements you see where ChatGPT or OpenAI could assist you. So that is all for us today. Always glad to be able to present these kind of features in these releases. They are very much relying on the input from you guys. So we're happy that you keep sending us input on what you want to see in Aligned Elements and what important things you want us to address. Is there anybody who has any questions at this point? Thank you for joining us. You can always reach out to us via email if there are any of these features that you want to activate in your own organization. And I look forward to see you the next time. Have a great afternoon. Thank you very much.